27 minutes on to the 7 o'clock hour. This is where we say good morning to you, Grenada, Carriacou, Pity Matnik, and the rest of the Eastern Caribbean, the rest of the world. It's Friday, the second day of May 2025. Of course, you know the name Gordon Joseph. So happy to be in your company as always. It's not Monday, it's Friday, right? Yeah. The holiday in between gets some people tied up and so forth, you know what I'm saying? But it's a good day to have a good day. Lauren Salim, good morning to you. How are you? Hope you're doing fine.
Thank you.
Yeah. Nice.
Thank you.
It's a good day to have a good day. Always remember that, huh? 26 minutes on to 7. DJ Kangaroo, good morning to you. Hope you're doing fine. Cicely Blackman and Mary E. Banks, good morning. Nice. Marvin, Dominic and family, good morning to you. Melvin and Melvin and the girls. Yvette, good morning. How are you doing? Yulin Alexander is with us. Destined to win overcomer says, blessed morning. Have a fantastic Friday. Nice. You too.
Thank you, Father, for calling me. Thank you, Father, for saving.
Mildred Smith, good morning to you and Shem. Zamora Plenty. Nice. Reverend Samuel Caesar, all the way from East Flatbush, New York.
Thank you.
We love you, Uncle Innocent. Thanks for Janice. That's my girl. I used to sing that song in church, man. Yeah, with Jason on the keyboards. Nixon on the drums. Yeah. Monica Miros Williams, good morning. Brother Alistair and Sister Dawn, good morning. How are you doing? All you good? Brother Carl Humphrey. Nice. Carriacou and Pity Matnik, the Southern Grenadines, good morning. Joanne Brathwaite Batson says, good morning, Mr. Joseph. Dedicated listeners and viewers, happy and blessed Friday, everyone. Enjoy your weekend. Yolan Swan, how are you doing? If I'm not mistaken, today's supposed to be Bashi Laka in Korea, eh? Nice. Wendy Williams, good morning.
Thank you.
Thanking God for another work week.
Thank you.
Yeah. So many things can go wrong. So many things have gone wrong. So many things didn't work out as planned. But most importantly, there is life, so there is hope, right?
Thank you.
Today could be a better day. You've got today. What more do you need? Yeah. The word of the day today, that word is impeccable. Impeccable. I-M-P-E-C-C-A-B-L-E. Impeccable. And what impeccable means? All right, let me tell you after I play this song. I'll tell you while my guy gets it up on the television. Yulin, morning.
Holy Spirit, my soul. Holy Spirit, fill my soul.
This song gets her up and about.
Holy Spirit, take my soul.
Okay, Yolan. So today is Bashi Laka in Korea. Culture Man, morning. Alsted John and the rest of the team. Uncle John, Toti we call him. Impeccable, that's the word of the day. I-M-P-E-C-C-A-B-L-E. It means simply flawless. Flawless. Here's how we can use that word in a sentence. Her impeccable manners impressed the guests. Her impeccable or her flawless manners impressed the guests. Nice. Good morning to the entire management and staff of the GBN, all facets of GBN. Good morning. The newsroom front desk, Mr. CJ. The accounts department, the directors. Good morning. Mr. Troy Garvey, good morning to you, bro. Hope you're doing fine. Nice. 22 minutes on to the 7 o'clock hour. Michelle Daniel just joined us. Good morning to you, Heather. Debbie, good morning to you and the family. The Sandersons, good morning. Doggy in Pomerose, good morning. Lady Cheryl, good morning. Yeah. Lady Cheryl is going to have a bumper season this year. Look out for that. You see the destruction she came with for the independence celebrations? The challenge? Well, she's challenging this year. Teacher Eddie, good morning to you. Teacher Nikki. Rootsman Kelly, the folks up on Canal, good morning. Chief, good morning to you. Eggies too. Yeah. Nadisha, the motivational tip of the day comes up next. While there, good morning to you, Miss G and the family. Visualize your challenges as opportunities. That's what it says. When faced with obstacles, try to view them as chances to grow rather than problems to solve. Yeah. You're telling me about that? I had to learn that the hard way. You know, it is said in the word that many are the plans of man, but it's the master's purpose that gets fulfilled. So you're planning something and you're planning and you have, but the master is higher than that, you know, and he knows best. So you might be thinking, okay, this I will do this today and I'll do that tomorrow. And he's saying, no, do that today and this tomorrow. And as Herschel Whiteman said, when you go to apply for a loan, saying I'm not getting approved, it doesn't mean a no. Sometimes it could be not now. So sometimes you've got to understand that no is also an answer, yeah? Antonia Phillip, Grand Rising from London. Bloody hell, man. Is it cold out there? Are you having some tea? Antonia Phillip. Thanks for joining us, Antonia. It's 20 minutes on to 7 o'clock. Let's see what's buzzing this morning. What's buzzing? All right, the union leaders appeal for fulfilled promises during the 2025 May Day celebrations. Also, we hear that PAHU names the Regional Emergency Operations Center in Barbados after Dr. Carissa Etienne. In the region, Guyana government revokes curfew as situation normalizes following unrest. Internationally, Trump replaces Mike Waltz with Marco Rubio as National Security Advisor. And in sports, the West Indies Breakout League is a training ground for the next generation of analysts. Nice. Jillian McIntyre, good morning to you. How you doing? Teacher Joan Duncan, how you doing? I went May Day yesterday. How was the May Day? Bernstein, you didn't tell me what going on, boy. Normally Bernstein and I would lime in the May Day celebrations, but this year, boy, they say, nah, you can't go to that. You know, the doctor's orders, you know what I'm saying? Nice. 18 minutes on to 7. Holy Spirit,
Fill my soul. Holy Spirit, take my soul.
I want to tell you something. Something good is going to happen to you today, right? Something good is going to happen. There might be something that you were praying for, longing for, wanting to happen, and it kept evading you. Well, tell yourself it's going to happen today, okay? You were waiting on a response on something. Well, it's going to happen today. Whether it's a response from the bank or whether it's, you know, a good result from the doctor, you got the test and, you know, you'll have a good result today. You know what I'm saying? You made a proposal to a girl, and she said, okay, I will think about it and I'll tell you, right? Today she's going to call you and tell you. Yes. What up? Good morning. Apre Tooth, Central, Bellevue, the Regis and Thomas family. Tayo right next door, good morning. Mando, good morning to you. The bishops in that's Latant, right? Yeah, good morning, good morning. Tell cousin Joseph next door morning for me too. Yeah. Folks, the AM edition of News, Sports and the Weather comes up right after this. Don't you go anywhere.
Attention all divers, snorkelers and underwater enthusiasts. Effective May 15th, 2025, all visitors to the renowned Mullinaire Underwater Sculpture Park will be required to pay a small fee of US $3.50 or EC $10 per person. These fees are essential to support the ongoing maintenance and repairs of the sculptures, as well as the development of new features to ensure the park remains a world-class attraction. Payment can be made through the Grenada Tourism Authority's online payment portal, available on the Pure Grenada website, www.puregrenada.com. We thank you for your support in enhancing this extraordinary underwater product. This announcement is brought to you by the Grenada Tourism Authority and the Ministry of Tourism, dedicated to protecting and conserving Grenada's resources for the enjoyment of all.
This is the GBN Morning Edition of News for today, Friday, May 2nd, 2025. Coming up in the news, union leaders appeal for fulfilled promises during the 2025 May Day celebrations. PAHO names Regional Emergency Operations Center in Barbados after Dr. Carissa Etienne. In the region, Guyana government revokes curfew as a situation normalizes following unrest. Internationally, Trump replaces Mike Waltz with Marco Rubio as a national security advisor. And in sports, West Indies Breakout League is a training ground for the next generation of analysts. We've got the reports, the details to these and more after these messages.
Or renovating your home or business? Why not use clean, renewable energy? Install solar panels to power your home and office and see your energy costs go down and your savings go up. Using renewable solar-powered energy protects our environment, reduces our carbon footprint, and slows the devastating impact of climate change. Republic Bank can help to finance construction and renovations that make use of renewable energy. Visit any Republic Bank branch and ask about renewable energy financing options today.
Republic Bank, we're the one for you. Share the great taste of Grace Foods.
Quality nutrition from generation to generation.
The goodness of Grace Foods.
Good morning. With the details, I am Gordon Joseph. President of the Grenada Union of Teachers, Jude Bartholomew, used the May Day 2025 celebrations on Thursday to reiterate the call for teachers to be compensated for obtaining their master's degree, a promise which remains unfulfilled. We have more in this report.
Master's degree, we are calling on the Ministry of Education, the Minister for Education. We are calling on the government of Grenada to honor this long-standing agreement with the Grenada Union of Teachers to compensate teachers for their master's degree and give them the inducement allowance. It was a shame to hear when we asked the question, why do the teachers have to cry? All those who study hard for their master's degree, we heard from the previous administration that the previous administration said to put a hold on compensation for master's degree. Today we cry out for it. Teachers are crying for the inducement allowance, and those who do their bachelors. We say no to priority lists and priority areas, and we call on the Minister for Education, the Honorable David Andrew, to respect and to restore the inducement allowance for teachers who work hard to do their masters. Justice! We say
GUT's President Jude Bartholomew. Now, that was only a snippet of many issues highlighted during this year's Labor Day celebrations. May Day celebrations were held in St. Mark this year under the theme Defending Workers' Rights, Rebuilding Solidarity, Securing Justice and Fairness as we march forward together. We'll bring you a comprehensive rundown of Thursday's activities in a later newscast. Meanwhile, planned protests in Victoria, St. Mark, originally scheduled for Thursday, were postponed. A peaceful march was being organized, appealing for justice for Wellington Wello Welch, who died on Tuesday while receiving medical care after sustaining gunshot injuries to the head on Sunday. The march was scheduled for 10 a.m. and would have clashed with the 9 a.m. march of unions during May Day celebrations in St. Mark. It was subsequently postponed to a later date to be announced. The head of the World Health Organization, the WHO, has warned that global health is at serious risk as donor support dries up and severe budget cuts loom. WHO Director General Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus said on Thursday that the agency is facing the greatest disruption to global health financing in memory as contributions fall sharply across the board. The crisis deepened after the United States, formerly the organization's biggest funder, pulled out in January, saying the health agency had mishandled the COVID-19 pandemic and other international health crises. The U.S. had previously covered nearly 1/5 of the WHO's budget. In response, the WHO has revised its financial plans, scaling back its current spending and proposing a 21% cut for the 2026-27 budget cycle. An internal memo seen by the news agency Reuters outlines a reduction from $5.3 billion to $4.2 billion, as well as significant staff cuts. Still health related, the Pan American Health Organization, PAHO, has named a regional emergency operations center in honor of the late Dr. Carissa Etienne. The Carissa F. Etienne Emergency Operations Center, located in Barbados, was officially inaugurated on Wednesday and will serve Barbados and the countries of the Eastern Caribbean. The Dominican-born Dr. Etienne served as director of PAHO and regional director for the Americas at the World Health Organization from February 2013 to January 2023. PAHO and WHO representative for Barbados and the Eastern Caribbean countries, Dr. Amelia Del Rigo, noted that naming the EOC after Dr. Carissa Faustina Etienne, Director Emeritus of PAHO, was a fitting tribute to her. She highlighted Dr. Etienne's exceptional leadership, unwavering dedication to public health, and her significant contributions to strengthening health security and emergency preparedness across the Americas. Acknowledging that Dr. Etienne's vision and persistent advocacy were crucial in making the project a reality. Dr. Del Rigo expressed confidence that her legacy would continue to guide and inspire the operation of the new facility. Meanwhile, Barbados' Minister of Health and Wellness, Senator Jerome Walcott, said the launch of the Carissa F. Etienne EOC is timely, as 17 named storms, including 9 hurricanes, have already been predicted for the 2025 hurricane season. Now that ends the first segment of news. The local segment, stay with us. The regional and international developments are straight ahead. In the region, the Guyana government has lifted a curfew that was implemented earlier this week in response to civil unrest triggered by the death of 11-year-old Adriana Young. The Ministry of Home Affairs announced yesterday that the curfew has been revoked, stating it welcomes the steady and very encouraging return to normalcy. The emergency measure, which prohibited public meetings, gatherings, assemblies, processions, and marches between 12:30 a.m. and 5 a.m., was officially gazetted on Tuesday. It was implemented after a night of significant disturbances that saw fires set on major roadways throughout the country, businesses in Georgetown looted, and numerous robberies reported. Law enforcement authorities have been actively pursuing individuals involved in the disturbances, with multiple arrests made and warrants issued for others suspected of inciting terror during the period of unrest. With that in mind, the ministry is calling on all citizens to exercise care, caution, and restraint in respect to personal and property safety, and report to the Guyana Police Force any act which may disrupt good public order, safety, and peace. Meanwhile, the owner of the Doubleday Hotel, who was held in connection with the investigation into the death of 11-year-old Adriana Young, has been released from police custody following the expiration of a statutory detention period. However, the Guyana Police Force also said that Bunj Narain Bola has been blacklisted from leaving Guyana, and samples were taken from him and the body of the 11-year-old. DNA samples obtained from the said individual and those of Adriana Young will be escorted this evening by a forensic investigator for advanced testing and analysis to be conducted at the Mount Sinai Health System in New York, so said the Guyana Police Force. The investigation, described by the GPF as serious in nature, has also resulted in several law enforcement and civilian staff being placed on administrative leave. Among them is Assistant Commissioner Khalid Mandal. Looking further afield, the United States President Donald Trump has announced the plans to reassign Mike Waltz, removing him from his current role as his national security advisor and nominating him instead to be ambassador to the United Nations. The revelation on Thursday comes after a morning of intense speculation that Waltz and his second-in-command Deputy National Security Advisor Alex Wong had been pushed out of of their roles. Trump announced on Thursday that he's nominating Mike Waltz to serve as United States Ambassador to the United Nations, shifting him from his role as National Security Advisor. A U.S. judge has issued a permanent injunction preventing the administration of President Donald Trump from using the Alien Enemies Act of 1798 to deport Venezuelans from South Texas. Thursday's ruling is the first of its kind and is likely to be swiftly appealed. It follows similar, if temporary, orders barring the government's use of the law as Trump seeks to rapid removal of undocumented immigrants from the country. And that ends the regional and international news. Stay with us. The sporting highlights are straight ahead. Good morning, sporting fans. Cricket dominates this morning. As part of the strategic planning and development of the regional game, Cricket West Indies has embarked on a journey to upskill data analysts during the ongoing West Indies Breakout League. Avanesh Sitaram, the performance analyst with the senior men's team, is conducting a series of workshops along with seminars and one-on-one in-game training and support with the 6 analysts assigned to franchises competing in the West Indies Breakout League, which began on Friday, April 25th at the Brian Lara Cricket Academy. The 6 regional analysts will go through several tutorial sessions which focus on enhancing the individual development, coordinating with their respective players and coaches, as well as understanding what the role demands at the international level. This initiative is part of a worldwide scale push to combine data analytics to develop an appreciation for the modern game. CWI's Director of Cricket, Miles Bascom, says the involvement at the feeder level as instrumental in a strategic push to incorporate all the bases from the international level. That's all the sports we have at this time. We'll have more sports for you during our luncheon edition. Stay with us. The weather forecast is straight ahead. All right, folks, for the latest weather forecast, we join forecaster Tricia Miller at the forecast desk at the MBIA. Good morning, Tricia.
Good morning to you and good morning to listeners of GBN. It's a fair morning here at the airport. Winds are from the east at 8 miles per hour. Barometric pressure 1012.7 millibars, which is below the mean, but it's rising. Present temperature 27.8 degrees Celsius. Relative humidity 80%. Yesterday's maximum temperature was 31.1 degrees Celsius, and the minimum temperature last night was 26.9 degrees Celsius. Over the past 24 hours, no rainfall was recorded here at the MBIA, and the total for the month remains at 0. No rainfall recorded so far. Now the public forecast valid for today and tonight for Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique. The weather is expected to be mostly fair, increasing in cloudiness overnight with light to moderate showers. Winds easterly to east-southeasterly at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Today's maximum temperature is expected to get up to 31 degrees Celsius. Seas light to moderate, waves 3 to 5 feet in open waters. Tides will be low around midday and high about 6 p.m. Sunset this evening at 6:21. Sunrise tomorrow morning at 5:46. So just to recap, the weather is expected to be mostly fair, increasing in cloudiness overnight with light to moderate showers. From the Met Office, Trisha Miller.
Thank you very much, Trisha. Have yourself a great weekend. Get some rest, okay?
Thank you. And thank you.
All right, folks. The weather forecast came to you with the kind compliments of Rennick and Thompson Company Limited.
Get money where you are, bonus anywhere you are, send money over with Western Union.
This is whoa, oh, oh, whoa. This is whoa. Is Western Union. Send to your friends and your family. With Western Union, we're moving money. No matter where you are, you will never fall.
Get money where you are, bonus anywhere you are, send money over.
Move it for better.
Western Union, moving money for better.
3 minutes after 7 o'clock to end the news, a recap of the headlines. Union leaders appeal for fulfilled promises during the 2025 May Day celebrations. PAHO names Regional Emergency Operations Center in Barbados after Dr. Carissa Etienne. In the region, Guyana government revokes curfew as a situation normalizes following unrest. Internationally, Trump replaces Mike Waltz with Marco Rubio as a national security advisor. And in sports, West Indies Breakout League, a training ground for the next generation of analysts. Now, that has been the morning edition of news for today, Friday, the 2nd day of May 2025. On behalf of the entire news department, I am Gordon Joseph, thanking you for listening, wishing you a productive day and a restful and safe weekend, and extending that invitation to you to stick and stay with the network, because we are with you anywhere and everywhere.
Need to install or repair your plumbing? We've got you covered. Whether you're setting up a new washing machine, replacing a leaking faucet, or fixing that pesky dripping pipe, the Plumbing Supply Store is your go-to place in Grenada. We offer a wide range of plumbing products to make both new installations and maintenance a breeze. Our shelves are stocked with top quality products, including pressure and waste fittings. And if you've been struggling with blocked drains, have you heard of Melt? This powerful drain-on-blocker liquid is a game changer, designed to prevent and clear blockages, making it ideal for hairdressers dealing with clogged wash sinks. We also carry a wide selection of repair kits and replacement parts to bring new life to old plumbing fixtures. Visit us today on the Woodlands Main Road or call 444-1377 for expert advice, top-notch products, and a warm welcome. At the Supply Store, we do everything plumbing.
Keeping up with the kids' growth spurts might mean time for a bigger fridge. Don't worry, at Quartz, we've got you. Need to upgrade your home? Get new arrivals in dining. Plus, buy more and save more on bedroom sets and get an additional 10% on credit purchases of any bedroom set. Want quality products that provide value at the best prices backed by full warranty? We've got you. Plus, shop today and pay later with Quartz Ready Finance. Whatever you need, we've got you. Only at Quartz, bringing value home.
Grenada is indeed beautiful and worth exploring. We firmly believe that you should be allowed to do so. Why not explore Grenada with James Services Corp Off-Road Tours? Whether you decide to explore Grenada with your family, spouse, or large group of friends, we are ready to welcome you. Our tours are guaranteed to leave you with wonderful memories of Grenada if you are visiting. You live here. Book a tour with us now by visiting our website www.jamessvcs.com Call 1473-442-3769 or email info@jamessvcs.com. James Services Corp. Off-Road Tours.
I am Dennis James Williams, owner and director of James Services Corp. Looking forward to welcoming you to the beautiful island of Union to explore with James Services Corp. Off-Road Tours. See you soon.
Explore our beautiful island of Grenada from an angle that is unique and off-road, but equally fun. We are 100% family-friendly tours.
Angie, don't you know that you should not fly kites near electrical poles and wires? You should only fly it in open areas. You can cause power outages throughout the village.
Then I'll just pull it down, Johnny. Simple?
No. You shouldn't do that. You can get shocked. You should call Grenlec at 237 and they will come and help.
Grenlec, energizing our Grenada.
Mobility, a common theme woven into the very fabric of human history. From ancient wanderers to modern explorers, our instinct to move, to seek something greater, and to grow has always driven us forward. Imagine a journey into pathways of boundless opportunities and endless possibilities. A collective future where the vibrant rhythms of the Caribbean, rich culture, and welcoming community create unforgettable experiences. Beyond citizenship by investment, we believe in our collective investment of time, resources, and energy that fosters innovation, creates jobs, and enriches lives, driving the growth of an entire nation. The Investment Migration Agency Grenada boasts over a decade of exceptional service and remains committed to guiding you toward global mobility and economic freedom through investment. Your journey becomes our shared story of progress and prosperity. The Grenada invitation to be part of something greater, something enduring. Begin your journey at imagrenada.gd. I am a Grenada. Unlock the possibilities.
Heritage Theatre presents Breaking Out, the Grenada Love Story, featuring Robert White and Lisa Grappi, written and directed by Chris DeRiggs.
But I still love you, Richie.
You love me and you're hard in me. 4 big performances, Saturday 24th and Sunday 25th May at the Grenada Trade Center, Saturday 31st May and Sunday 1st June at Deluxe Cinema in Grenville. Showtime 7 p.m. sharp.
He's the love of my life, Auntie.
You have to marry a man for other things besides love, child.
Get your tickets at Mitchell's Pharmacy in Grandance, Gittins Health and Wellness, Wall Street, Pharmacy Pedmata, St. David Pharmacy, St. Andrew Pharmacy, Art and Soul Boutique at Spiceland Mall, 3B's Shoe Store, and GoToFed.com. Breaking Out. Come out and enjoy Grenadian theater at its best.
This ad complements Classic Lighting Caribbean.
Alright folks, it's 10 minutes after 7 o'clock. Welcome to the conversation, and as you can see, I've got with me in the studio a beautiful young lady. Good morning, my dear friend.
Good morning.
And how are you doing this morning?
I am doing wonderfully.
Okay. Alright, so now let me tell you what this conversation is about. Grenada is always termed as being unique in so many different ways. As a matter of fact, we have a species of bird that is endemic only to Grenada, the Grenada dove, Leptotila wellesi. All right, but recent research has proven that there is another species of bird that is only found in Grenada. Before we start the conversation, could you tell my audience what's your name, please, and your background?
Yeah, that's right. I'm Dr. Nicola Coper, and I'm Dean of the Faculty of Environment at the University of Northern British Columbia in Canada.
Wow. Okay, so, and as we were saying in a pre-conversation, you've been coming here since 2011, thereabout, doing research.
That's right. We've mostly been working on bird ecology and bird conservation here on the island.
Okay, so that means you should know Mr. Tyrone Buckmeyer.
Of course, yes, for sure. And I know his daughter very well. Zoya Buckmeyer was one of my graduate students, actually.
Okay, wow. Okay. Morning, Tyrone. All right. Okay, so that bird, that new finding that we've had, what's the name of that bird?
So we now have the Grenada wren. And it's actually been here for thousands of years, but scientists had officially described it to be a member of the house wren species, and that made it not terribly interesting because the house wrens are found all across North and South America. However, as soon as I came here in 2011 and took one look at it, I was like, there is no way that that's a house wren. It looks really different. And so our team and also scientists all over the world have been studying the wren, and finally last year it was recognized as being a completely separate species that's not house wren and is in fact a species that's found only in Grenada, and in fact almost entirely just on the island of Grenada.
Wow. So could describe that bird for us. I maybe I've seen it and not even recognize it.
You absolutely have, actually. It's a little brown bird. It's got a long curved beak and this gorgeous nutmeg brown plumage. And in fact, it's called a house bird here often. And so it lives around lots of the houses, farms, gardens, and sometimes it'll nest under the eaves of houses. Sometimes it'll nest in little holes in walls, that kind of thing. So it has this beautiful bubbly song too, so you've probably heard it as well.
I have. And what makes it so unique?
So it's quite different from other wrens. Its body proportions and the size are different. It really stood out to us as being a little bit bigger. It just has this beautiful plumage that's much more rich than other places. It reminds me of the nutmegs and the chocolate that are found on Grenada, so it's very appropriate for living here. And it eats primarily insects, so it's actually quite beneficial as well. It lives in our gardens and our farms and can help to control pests as well as creating this beautiful environment.
So what is its preferred natural habitat?
So it does live. It lives in the forests, but it actually some of our research has found that because your agricultural systems are so diverse, mostly organic as well, and so your gardens as well, you've got lots of different tree species that are growing in those areas, and so in fact they actually even have higher abundances in those kind of agricultural systems and agroforest systems and gardens than they do in the natural forests that occur on Grenada as well. So they just do really well in conjunction with humans. And so one of the things that I like about this story is that it's really a good news story. This is a species that's abundant. It's familiar to lots of folks. It's doing well. And, 2025 has been kind of a rough year in a lot of ways, and yet we have this thing that's like beautiful and wonderful and worth celebrating. And it's really because Grenadians have been doing such a good job with managing your landscape and managing the ecosystems, especially the gardens and farms here, that you have this like really special biodiversity and this really high biodiversity of lots of different species of birds that live well in those ecosystems.
Wow. Okay, now having identified it as being Grenadian, truly Grenadian, what does that mean for Grenada?
That's right. So I think there's a few practical implications. First of all, it highlights that Grenada is contributing to biodiversity at a global scale. So it's got stuff here that is not found anywhere else in the whole world. So the world is really responsible for helping to protect it. So because of that, it actually gives us some access to some conservation dollars, some research dollars that we can't get other ways. So there's international dollars that are only for endemic species that are found on islands and sort of give us that access. But I think that there's a tourism benefit that we can also explore as well. So we have some tourists who travel around the world checking out birds, and now there's one more reason to come to Grenada because you can only see them here. But I think in a broader sense, they're really important because when we tell the story of the Grenada wren, and when we tell the story as a success story about how special Grenada is, how diverse it is, and how because of that we have these special species that are found here nowhere else, it helps to create an emotional attachment between the tourist and the country, and that helps. That's really important in terms of driving repeated tourism, positive stories over abroad, and also just an interest and a belief that Grenada is special and different from anywhere else in the world, and that can help say, why would we want to go to Grenada? Because it is much more than sand, surf, and beaches.
That's a song,
Yeah, of course
it's much more than sand, surf, and beaches. Yeah. Now, I keep saying this because, okay, for example, you're coming all the way from Canada, and I'm certain that you brought other team members with you on different occasions, and you would have traveled through all the length and breadth of Grenada, going deep into a forest and exploring and so forth. But could you believe that there are Grenadians who haven't done that?
Of course. I mean, we're the same in Canada. I live a tiny little city that's in the middle of nowhere, and I spend so much time in the forests, and I have lots of friends who don't explore it either. I absolutely love all the parts of Grenada. I love going up into the mountains, into Grand Tang. One of my students was up there yesterday and saw a monkey, and she was super pumped about that. I love going to the north part of the island. I love visiting the rural communities. We have done a lot of research at Belmont Estate, actually, and very grateful for their ongoing support for this research, and it's such a spectacular, glorious place. So it's been such a privilege to be able to bring grad students, often from around the world, to Grenada to get to explore this particular place and recognize how special it is.
Okay. Now that we've identified this bird, this species that is endemic only to Grenada, what we as a people should not do that would have them migrate?
Okay, so that's a good point. Actually, some house wrens migrate. The Grenada wrens don't. They stay here. So as long as you just let them be, they're going to do great. So again, this is a good news story. They do really well and in human areas, so they can tolerate humans well as long as we don't actually touch and disturb their nests. So if you see them nesting in the eaves trough, I hope that you would just appreciate them and be like, wow, I'm so lucky to have this species nesting in my house, and just let them do their thing, and then they do great in those ecosystems.
Someone says here, Sharon Bartholomew, she says, this lady makes me want to start bird watching.
I would be so delighted to be able to support folks with bird watching. Anyone who wants to email me at nicola.coper@umbc.ca. You can actually find me on the University of Northern British Columbia website really easily. I will help to get you started. You can come out and hang out with us when we're birding this week. I'm here with a couple of students from Grenada and a couple of former students from Grenada. They've all graduated from working with me. And some students who are from Canada and the US, and all here to enjoy this area, and all of us are super pumped about bird watching here.
Bird watching, is that an industry that we can really develop and monetize?
A few folks are doing that successfully. Anthony Jeremiah, Vaughn on the island as well are both guides that are doing the birding here with guests. And bird watching or birding is one of the growth industries in tourism, actually, worldwide. So there's actually a vast amount of money in bird watching in some countries, including really big countries like the US. Sometimes there's actually more money that's being spent on bird watching than even the extractive industries like bird hunting. So we think of duck hunters as being an important source of revenue in that area, but in fact there's actually even more money being spent on bird watching. It's also a growth industry in that a lot of retired folks are interested in bird watching. It's accessible. and just super enjoyable. I'm personally totally addicted. So as our nation gets older, that's one of the reasons that we've got this like really worldwide explosion in bird watching. And so the UK is an important source of tourism here, Germany as well, and birding is a really big area in those two locations as well. So there's definitely an opportunity.
And as a specialist in that field, you've seen sufficient bird species in Grenada that can really attract foreigners to come to want to do that?
So you've got two different kind of tourists, I think, who are going to be able to benefit from this. One are the really serious birders who want to check off every bird in the world, and they have to come here to get the Grenada wren and the Grenada dove. The other is almost the complete opposite, where they're just tourists who really like the environment, who gradually become to appreciate how beautiful and diverse it is here, and who become more and more interested in the natural systems that are here. Birding is something that can be accessible to tourists who might not be able to handle a really challenging trek in a rainy season in the mud up Volcano, which is or one of the mountains, which is great, and I've done it, but like I'm not sure I'm going to be up there again. It's pretty, but kind of a lot of work.
Mount St. Catherine.
Yeah, well, I mean, Mount St. Catherine beat me, so that's fair. And so people who are perhaps my age or a little bit older and who want something that's a way to relate to this landscape and to get into the forests and the places that are further away from the sort of typical touristing areas in the south, and to learn about both the birds in the ecosystem, but also the plants that are used by birds, by other wildlife, but also by humans. And it's actually that combination. It's the growth of the plants that are beneficial for humans and that have both social and economic benefits that are providing this habitat for a wide range of different birds.
Okay. Well, I am happy that you've established that for us, and I realize that you're kind of from your conversation, Grenada is like a second home, right?
Oh, I love it. Thank you so much for letting me come to your home and letting it be my second home. It's been just such a delight.
Yes, I can see that. And I just want to thank you for, enlightening us with that. Are there any parting words you'd like to say?
We have quite a lot of festivals on this week to celebrate the Grenada wren and to tell folks about them, especially around for kids. So we have some school events, one at Cameron Park in Grandance on Tuesday next week, on Friday next week, on the 9th at Belmont Estate. So schools can get a hold of us in order to participate there. We've got a children's book reading at Belmont Estate on Sunday this week from 1 till 4. We've got some other events, and for tourism providers at 8:30 in the morning at Belmont at Belmont Estate at Thursday next week, so that I can really tell the tourism providers about what kind of stories they can tell tourists that would be engaging.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you very much for enlightening us with that good news. Sometimes news is not good news, but this is a good news, the story this morning. And I know that you would do all the requisite publications and so forth, so that the world will know that, hey, there is the Grenada wren, and you should go to Grenada to see it.
Thank you so much.
It's a pleasure. Have a good one.
Thank you.
Folks, we take a quick break. When we come back, we have more conversation. Don't you go anywhere.
Looking to shop online from your favorite stores like Amazon and Shein? With GPC Global, it's never been easier. Get your very own US address and shop from around the world. With GPC Global, you can order the latest trends and must-have items, all delivered straight to Grenada to your closest post office for your pickup. We offer the cheapest rates, and our service is reliable and quick. No more waiting for weeks for your packages. Your satisfaction satisfaction is guaranteed. Join the Grenada Postal family today and start shopping smarter. Visit us online at www.grenadapostal.com or call us on 437-POST. That's 437-7678. GPC Global, your gateway to the world.
Served Grenada for decades. We are the #1 and largest electrical supplier.
Hi, welcome to Sunny Electrical. How may I help?
We offer electrical wire accessories, tools, and appliances for all residential, commercial, and industrial applications, which is what we are known for. And we expanded our products with new innovative ways to modernize your home. New homeowners will be captivated in our lighting showrooms.
Some more pendant lights here. These are very multifunctional because they can work for kitchens, living rooms, bedrooms.
We have a wide selection of lighting, ranging from indoor to outdoor and solar. We are also available for site visit services to assist you with selecting the perfect light for your forever home. We are located at Dusty Highway in Grenada and St. George. Southern Electrical. Best value, expert advice, quality products. We hope to see you soon.
Get ready, Grenada. The Maggie King of the Grill is back and bigger than ever. On Saturday, June 7th, Monroe's playing field transforms into the ultimate battleground for grill masters. Think you got what it takes? Then fire up those grills and show your skills. Registration closes Friday, April the 11th. So don't miss your chance to compete for that sizzling prize and bragging rights. It's food, fun, and flavor, all powered by Maggie. To register, call 407-8458. Maggie King of the Grill with
at Grenada
Pools. See you.
Hey everyone, here is an invitation to join me this and every Wednesday at 8:30 p.m. on GBN Television 711 K105 FM, our Facebook page and YouTube channel for Kaiso Talk. Meet the Kaisonians, hear their stories, feel the vibes. Kaiso Talk, Wednesdays 8:30 p.m. Compliments for Grenville Credit Union.
For coming up, a festival of long renewable energy with some very familiar charms. How about Run Barbados? When it comes to entertainment, this iconic couple really puts on a show. Caribbean Passport TV brings the region closer together. Exciting destinations, healthier meals. Be viewing this station. So have your passport ready and let's travel.
Get ready, Grenada. The
Supply Store
Grill is back and bigger than ever. On Saturday, June 7th, Monroe's playing field transforms into the ultimate battleground for grill masters. Think you got what it takes? Then fire up those grills and show your skills. Registration closes Friday, April the 11th. So don't miss your chance to compete for that sizzling prize and bragging rights. It's food, fun, and flavor, all powered by Maggie. To register, call 407-8458. Maggie King of the Grill, where flavor rules. See you there.
It's clearly documented that we have been having, as a planet, an increase in incidence of cancers. But remember, cancer is a genetic disease.
When you now look at somebody's DNA or their genetics, it can tell you everything about a person. So use next generation sequencing to do in particular is to look at hereditary cases of diseases.
Be viewing Caribbean Medical TV on this station.
All right, welcome back, folks, to the conversation. A very busy morning. I'm joined now by another beautiful young lady who happens to be family in a kind of way, you know. She is Miss Giselle Blackman-Charles. She is the president of the PTA of the South St. George Government School, and they've got a month of activities. Very interesting. Good morning, Miss.
Good morning, sir.
How are you?
I am doing well.
All right, and I know you're anxious to get to your students this morning.
No, I'm not a teacher, so
okay.
Not anxious to get the students.
Right. Okay, good. All right, lovely. As we were talking prior to coming on the set, we were talking about, you know, that profession, that noble profession called teaching, where teachers are, you know, being able to perform the task of many different professions: psychology, doctors, priests, pastor, everything.
Mommy and daddy.
And still mommy and daddy, right? So the South St. George Primary School, the PTA is having a month of activities. What is the trend of thought that brought that?
The month of activities is good. We dub it Our Health Matters. Parents and teachers alike we get low, we get down, we tired physically, mentally exhausted, spiritually at times. And sometimes within the school system, there are systems put in place to help children who they find are weak, who need counseling, that sort of thing. And oftentimes, parents, we just have to do what we have to do. And nobody knows sometimes the silent battles that parents are fighting. When things happen in society, sometimes the first thing you hear person say, well, I know that child, they come out in good home. But do we know the struggles that the parents may have been having? Nobody seems to know. And then our teachers, again, are our unsung heroes. They just have to show up and show out. Whether they're tired, I could very well say, well, I'm not feeling the very best today. I can go to school. I can't go to work. But they have 15 plus students waiting on them to show up. And it's a melting pot. Children from all different walks of life, all different backgrounds. And it's the one profession that really impacts each and every one of us in society. So our month of activities is geared towards, just letting each other know that we're here for each other and we're here to support in various ways as we deem necessary throughout the month.
I really wish that this program, that 1 month of activities that you're doing, could be used as a prototype for other schools to follow.
That would be
because
good.
Really and truly, and it also brings together parents. It brings together parents who can share ideas and experiences and might just make that role of parenting
a little easier.
Mm-hmm. So I really I'm really hopeful that other schools and institutions can adopt that policy. Ever so often have a month of activities. Come and release some steam.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
So tell us about the month. What are the schedules?
So we beginning on Sunday with a church service. The theme is Our Spiritual Health Matters. Church service at the St. George's Evangelical Church from 10 a.m. So parents, teachers, students, invitation has been extended to past teachers, past principals. We'll even be extending an invitation to our parliamentary rep to join us as we give thanks to God for, the spiritual aspect of our lives. And then on May 8th, we have our mental health matters. We're going to have a panel discussion on mental health and wellness, taking care of us, parents and teachers. What can we do to, just to think about us for a little bit. Discuss, as you said, the challenges that we face and, brainstorm as to what is the best way for coping with certain difficulties and challenges that we may face in our parenting and teaching journey. On May 12th, another panel discussion will be held via Zoom, our financial health matters. We know that sending children to school is not cheap.
You're telling me about that?
It is definitely not cheap. Yeah. We have the books, we have the uniform, and then we have, when they get to that stage, we have exam fees and all of those that comes along with it. So we have to juggle, and when you have more than one, it's even a bigger challenge.
Yep.
So our financial health matters on May 12th. On May 20th, our intellectual health matters. We're going to have our PTA meetings are usually held every third Tuesday. So on that day is going to be a PTA meeting with a difference. We're going to ask the RGPF, we're partnering with the RGPF, the Community Relations Department, to assist us during that PTA meeting. It would be less of school PTA meeting and more of hearing from the RGPF. The reason for that is there's a silent epidemic that is creeping into some of the schools, where parents and conflict resolution seems to be an issue now. You have parents walking into schools and dealing with children on their own, not even involving teachers and the principals. Or we have parents attacking teachers in some cases. So we want to get the police involved. We want to educate our parents and the parents in our community on, the do's and don'ts of how to deal with conflict in schools and what does the Education Act say about, so a lot of these cases that are coming up now. On May 26th, our parents are going to close off the month by leading in the assembly. That's a Monday morning. So we would have a parent-led assembly on that last Monday. And then on May 27th, our physical health matters. We want to partner with the ministry to have a health fair for our parents and those within our immediate community. And then on May 30th, our social health matters. So we're going to close off with a social event, meet and greet after work line for our parents. We're going to have exercise activities, games, a bar, free food for the parents as a means of camaraderie and giving back to our parents.
That is very important. I really, now that you've gone through the details of it, I see how impactful it can be, and I really and truly do hope that all parents, whether you're a parent of a child in the school or you're a parent in the community, please make it a must and attend all, if not all, as many of the sessions as possible. I like the one with the interaction with the police.
Yeah.
It's critically important.
It is.
There's so much more that I can say on it, but it would be too provocative this morning, and I don't have the time to deal with it. But it's critically important that, parents, guardians, community folks get to know their role and their place
and where it ends.
Yes, definitely. And the mental health aspect of it again,
very important.
A lot of parents are going through hell,
and we don't know.
And sometimes when we get to know, it's too ugly.
Yes. We dress up and we show up.
Yeah.
And I think a part of it is because we have to be there for our children. They didn't ask to be here, they're here, so we don't have a choice. We have to be there for them. And it goes beyond that at times, I think. We don't know who we can speak to or who we can trust.
Most critical point there. Confidentiality seems to be a thing of the past. Empathy is a word that people don't know.
Right.
Yeah, so it's
I vividly remember at one time I had an issue and I was trying to, just to get somebody to speak to, not necessarily a mental health issue. And the person that I reached out to, they were too busy.
Yeah.
And I said, well, okay, I wonder how many parents really need, I could deal with my issues, but I wonder how many parents are struggling, really need somebody just to listen to them.
And somebody else is too busy to hear.
Somebody else is too busy.
Am I my brother's keeper?
So I think that is where this idea was born. The fact that sometimes we need to look out for each other.
Yeah, I'm so happy that this month of activity was organized, and I really do hope that, like I said, other schools and other institutions, not necessarily just teachers.
No.
No. There's something just beneath the surface that needs to be addressed.
Yes.
And if it is not addressed timely, the end result thereof will be very, very
It's critical.
Yeah.
It's critical. We send our children to school, and the teachers, they see it on a daily basis. They hear it, the things that the children come to school and say, or the things they come to school and act out. it's not necessarily that they come out of a bad home, but sometimes it's the struggles that the parents themselves are dealing
spiritual
with.
influences and everything like that. And there are some folks who don't want to hear about this, but the world today, I mean, you're seeing things are happening, and unless you personally have that spiritual strength and knowledge that you can discern certain things,
set yourself apart.
Yeah, well, I want to congratulate you and your team for putting on such a needed initiative.
And I want to say a special thank you to the principal, Mrs. Suzette Roberts, who, when the idea was thrown out, really embraced it and helped us develop the idea into all of the activities that we have carded for the month.
Family, thank you for coming by.
Thank you for having me.
Spread the love when you go back home. All right. So, folks, you're in the community, you're in that vicinity. Find out, inquire about the activities. It starts on
Sunday with a church service at 10 a.m. St. George's Evangelical Church in Springs.
Okay. Thank you for dropping by. Folks, we take a break. When we come back, I've got Mr. Saint-Hilaire with Inspector Smith from the Traffic Department as they lay out the traffic do's and don'ts for the Pump It Up Walk that comes up on Sunday. We'll be back after these messages. Don't you go anywhere.
Get ready, Grenada. The Maggie King of the Grill is back and bigger than ever. On Saturday, June 7th, Monroe's playing field transforms into the ultimate battleground for grill masters. Think you got what it takes? Then fire up those grills and show your skills. Registration closes Friday, April the 11th. So don't miss your chance to compete for that sizzling prize and bragging rights. It's food, fun, and flavor, all powered by Maggie. To register, call 407-8458. Maggie King of the Grill, where flavor rules. See you.
Hey everyone, here is an invitation to join me this and every Wednesday at 8:30 p.m. on GBN Television 711 K105 FM, our Facebook page and YouTube channel for Kaiso Talk. Meet the Kaisonians, hear their stories, feel the vibes. Kaiso Talk, Wednesdays 8:30 p.m. Compliments for Grenville Credit Union.
Coming up, a festival of long-distance running with some very familiar charms. How about Run Barbados? When it comes to entertainment, this iconic couple really puts on a show. Caribbean Passport TV brings the region closer together. Exciting destinations, healthier meals. Be viewing this station. So have your passport ready and let's travel.
Get ready, Grenada. The Maggie King of the Grill is back and bigger than ever.
420.
Monroe's playing field transforms into the ultimate battleground for grill masters. Think you got what it takes? Then fire up those grills and show your skills. Registration closes Friday, April the 11th. So don't miss your chance to compete for that sizzling prize and bragging rights. It's food, fun, and flavor, all powered by Maggie. To register, call 407-8458. Maggie King of the Grill, where flavor rules. See you there.
It's clearly documented that we have been having, as a planet, an increase in incidence of cancers. But remember, cancer is a genetic disease.
When you now look at somebody's DNA or their genetics, it can tell you everything about a person. So what we use next generation sequencing to do in particular is to look at hereditary cases of diseases.
Be viewing Caribbean Medical TV on this station.
It is resource.
Soul Boutique. Best.
Welcome back, viewers and listeners, to the conversation. As I told you, this morning was going to be busy, and I did live up to that. I'm joined now by, to my immediate right, Mr. Francis Centillier. He is the marketing officer attached to the Grenada Cooperative Bank, and to his right is Inspector Smith from the Traffic Department of the RGPF. And as I said, Pump It Up is Sunday coming, and from previous conversations that we had, we know that we had to get the police involved, because managing a crowd in excess of 5,000 people on the nation's road and having traffic at the same time could be a tedious uphill battle. So the RGPF is here to outline some of the traffic regulations. Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning.
Yes. Who's going first?
Wait, let
the traffic. Okay. All right.
Police go first.
Inspector Smith, traffic regulations for Sunday from 4.
Yes, good morning. We know that the annual Pump It Up Walkathon will be on Sunday, the 4th of May, 2025 at 4 p.m. from Monroe to the National Stadium. Now, all vehicular traffic traveling towards the town of St. George from the Western Corridor will travel along the Stadium Ring Road from its intersection with Cherry Hill onto Cemetery Hill, Old Fort, and Local Street. Now, all vehicular traffic traveling towards the town of St. George from the Southern Corridor will travel along the Grandlands Public Road from Kirani James Boulevard onto the Carnage. We will have some no entry signs in place as well. So vehicular traffic will not be allowed to travel in the direction of Grandlands along the following roads: Port Highway from its intersection with Bonds Point Roundabout and Allen Francis Roundabout, Kirani James Boulevard from its intersection with Allen Francis Roundabout and Belmont Public Road, Belmont Public Road from its intersection with Springs and Gleens Road onto Grandlands, Old Fort Public Road from its junction with Lucas Street, Cemetery Hill from its junction with Church Street. Public parking will be available in the following areas. We have the concrete area, car park at the Athletic Stadium, behind the National Stadium, within the vicinity of the cricket net, entering from the Ring Road through Gate 6. On the right side of the Ring Road, that is in the direction of Wesley College playing field. No parking areas. No parking will be allowed in the following areas. On either side of the road, we have Queen's Park Public Road from its junction with Greenbridge to the National Stadium. Then we have River Road from Lacroix Brothers Crematorium to the first vending booth on the left, and the National Stadium main entrance public way from Greenbridge. We'll also have some roads being turned into one way. We have the Grandlands Public Road with its intersection with Wall Street Roundabout onto Kirani James Roundabout. The entire Ring Road from its intersection with Cherry Hill and River Road Public Road will be made into one way in the direction of Monge St. George's at the conclusion of the walkathon.
So that's basically the traffic arrangements for the day. A quick question. Now, we know people are lawbreakers. All right? They would see no parking, they would see one way, but because it's sort of a temporary thing that you could say it's impromptu. Okay? It's just for this spur of this moment. They would say, well, I have something to do, so there's no other direction that I can go. What are the penalties? What are the punitive measures there?
Well, first of all, there will be officers manning those signs, the no entry signs and so on, to ensure that no persons break their signs. And a breach of no entry sign is also a ticketable offense with carry a fine of $150.
Okay. All right. Okay, well, folks, follow the laws. It's just for a brief period of time, from 4 p.m. on Sunday up to what, about 7, 8 thereabout?
Yes, around that time.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Mr. Sentile, final dotting the I's and crossing the T's. How are things going as it relates to the Pump It Up come Sunday?
Well, we're pretty much ready for the Sunday. In terms of all the logistics, we have that pretty much covered. It was important that we really got the police here because we know the traffic could have repercussions for persons. For example, someone might be traveling out of the state, so it's important that they know we do not want to cause any delays on the road. So that was the last part of the jigsaw puzzle, putting it together, making sure that all the logistics are in place for Sunday.
Okay, yeah, it's critically important that the motoring public know the do's and don'ts, especially if it's customary to use that road, that area of road during that time. Very important point that you raised, accessibility to the airport. So people now have to plan accordingly because that area will be out of bounds for a given period of time. So you have to plan alternative routes and so on. All right. So, and officer, you said that the streets will be manned.
Yes, the different signs or the different location where signs are being placed will be manned by officers.
Okay. Any other mentions that you want to make?
Yeah. Well, I would just like to add though that as the walk progresses along the route, the different roads will be open immediately, and persons wishing to access the airport. Example, if you're coming from the western side, you can use River Road, Lotus Lane, Springs, and Grandlands Valley to access the airport.
Mm-hmm. So with that notice, people would know that they have to make some adjustments with their timing.
Yes, of course.
Okay. All right. So as we wrap, because I know you all are very busy, I'd just like you to just rewind the no parkings and the one way and so forth.
Okay. Well, the one way, that particular road will be turned into one way. For example, the entire Grandlands Public Road and all its adjoining roads. So that whole entire road will be one way during the walkathon. And
that one way would be heading
towards the tongue of St. George.
Okay.
So as the walk progresses, the roads will be open accordingly. So as the officers and those persons in the walkathon pass the different intersection, they would be open.
Okay. All right. Okay, well, Mr. Santila?
Well, yes, Innocent. Come Sunday, we're really eagerly anticipating an excellent turnout. This year promises to be one of the biggest ever, based on our T-shirt sales and the support that we've received. We want to urge persons to come out early. We start promptly at 4, not a minute past. We start promptly at 4, so we want persons to come out early. We also want to inform persons who will be parking at the National Stadium that there will be buses available to take you to the start of the walk at Monroe. So it's important that you come early. Buses would be available from as early as 3 to take you down. Of course, there will be an additional cost that you would have to bear for your transportation to go down. Also, persons who will be parking at the southern end at the start, yes, buses would be able to take you back at the conclusion of the walk. So it's important that persons know that. And we must say thank you to the Grenadian public that has supported us tremendously over the years, and with this year being no exception. We know that it is for a worthy cause in terms of the Princess Royal Hospital in Carriacou. Healthcare is something that you cannot overemphasize, and it is very important that persons can still make a contribution. Even if the packages are sold out, you can still make a contribution. You can still come in and make your contribution. And we also very grateful to our partners who helped us along. Hubbard's, Flow, Antillian, Guardian Group, Body Image, Koyaba, Wagiti Rentals, of course the police, who is an important partner, the Ministry of Health, hospital authorities, and everyone, all who supported us, the persons who donated prizes, because there will be prizes for the various sector, the various areas come Sunday. Yeah. So we're very grateful, and it just shows that if we pull together, what we can accomplish.
Okay. Well, actually, we took a page from Pump It Up Walk. You remember I told you that we're going to do a walk in St. David? So we've already started discussing it. The tent, the classic Calypso tent, is going to take up that initiative and do it as Sunday afternoon, and as we spoke, and it's all a bit to get Grenada being more healthy.
Yes, it's important. Yeah. It's important to promote a healthier lifestyle, because curative measures are always preventative measures are always better than curative measures.
Cheaper too.
Yes, and it is said that a healthy nation
is a wealthy
nation. And what you do is, we hope that doing those walks would spark persons to start the healthy exercise, the personal, yes. Yeah. So it is not just a walk. We want to motivate, encourage, stimulate, so that persons can start on their own.
See how exciting it is.
Yes, and even in the village, you do little walks in the village. You come out as a group, 15, 20 persons. You walk on afternoons. You encourage good friendship, socialization. I mean, on Sunday would be the massive one, because you might see somebody you didn't see from SAS in 20 years.
No, in my
McDonald College. GSS?
Yes.
Right.
GSS
that you didn't see in 15, 20 years. Okay. So you get to rekindle old friendship. The families come in. One of the most beautiful sights is to see a dad pushing a child in a stroller on his shoulder, because it's all about family. It's all about that excitement, that sense of togetherness, and the ultimate goal. Yeah. It's for us to start that fitness to us trying to be healthier. Yeah. And again, it's a twin. Yeah. We're contributing to our worthy cause.
Yeah, definitely. So it's a win-win-win situation. All right, gentlemen, thank you very much. We've exhausted our time, and folks, I urge you, remember, even if you cannot make it to the walk, but you can make a contribution to the fund, because when you do, you are supporting the Mount Royal Hospital. Princess Royal. Yeah, Princess Royal Hospital in Carriacou. And, that's what we do. We support each other in time of need. Officer, any parting words?
I just want to urge the general public to adhere to the traffic arrangements. It's just for a short while.
Okay. All right, gentlemen, thank you very much, and all the best to you guys on Sunday. You've done GSS proud, man. Yeah, I didn't realize, I didn't realize that you were a GSS person. Folks, that's it for the conversation this morning. We've got to join the BBC momentarily, and that's the conclusion for the week as well. So if the good Lord spare lives, we'll have another conversation come Monday. Have a good one. If you've got to leave us now, have a good day. Remember, it is a good day to have a good day. I love you. Bye-bye.